Let's make a stargazing hare. So I made this one this morning. Very simple project, good for beginners. We've done some of this kind of texture on the coat before. I don't know if we'll get this all done in one go. It might have to be 2 videos, but let's get started. Now, everything fell off then. That's just what you want to happen. We're going to use a skewer for this one. We're going to have some finger guards if you need them as well, and we're using a skewer because it will help us to hopefully get this nice and tight, and then we won't have to felt so much. So this is a bit thick. I'm just going to half it like that. This is a cool wool. It comes like this, and what we do, to make sure you can see this, is we take the end, just wrap it around gently and just twist around. So this is going to be the bottom of our hair, will be much chunkier than the top, and then just pull it. We're going over a bit of an angle. I'm going to use my thumb, and we're twisting the wool, twisting the stick, not wrapping like that. You could try that, but I feel like this is better. If you don't get it really tight, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. It's kind of a practice thing, but this will just save you quite a bit of needle felt, and you can give it a little roll as well if you want. And then you can just take your needle and you're just gently patting it down, just so that hopefully when you add some more in a second, it doesn't come off. So then we're going to add a bit more. Sorry, this is going to be our biggest end, thinking about it. And I'm just wrapping quite loosely now, not really the way you should. Let's just grab some more because I didn't get enough. So how thick you want him, that's up to you. You can see with this one, he's not hugely thick. Just half that. And then just roll. I sort of feel, I mean, you can roll that and tighten that as you roll it. You could see that made a big difference. The end result will be reasonably tight. Where have I put my needle? Here. The end result will need to be reasonably tight, otherwise you won't get any detail in. This idea of using a skewer, so this is just a skewer you would buy for barbecues, that sort of thing, will just, it just gives you something to grip to and helps you like form this shape. Could have made this much tighter on this side. And I'm just putting it in. This is a little bit longer than I should have done it looking at him, but by the time we poke this bit up to get a nice flat base, because he does actually stand, and you should, well, I managed to get mine to stand. This is where you should put your gloves on so you don't stab yourself. That's because I was not concentrating. Right, let's go a little bit thicker. And spread it out a little bit. Where you will want the thickness is at the bottom, because when you start pushing this up, it's going to sort of change it a bit. I think we'll just put a tiny bit more on there as well. I need a bit more than I thought. Not a massive amount. And this will come down a little bit as well once we start poking. And I will put my finger guards on because I did just stab myself. And it obviously it hurts, but after a while, if you keep stabbing yourself, it just feels a bit horrible. We don't need to do that. Not when we've got options. So my stargazing hair, I'm not really sure. I'm sure there's a meaning for a stargazing hair. We're just like when you make a sock. If you followed my videos before, the egg one, you'll see that it's that like continuous movement, so we don't get a flat area. Turn it round. Don't worry about this bit, we'll sort this bit out in a bit. You could keep this on here and work really hard to try and get your shape if you wanted for a while, but because we're going to be coming up at a bit of an angle there, it'll be harder to do that, I think, on the skewer. And whilst I really like the skewer, it is a really good idea. I like to feel things a bit more. I like to, I don't like having something I'm going to hit. It's not quite the same as a pipe cleaner. You can hear me hitting it there. So I'm just going to pull mine off, but if you want to keep going with it on there, that's absolutely fine too. You have to kind of feel your own way a little bit in this. And then we're gonna start on this bottom bit because it's a bit floofy. And at the moment he's too big. So we're going round like we would with the egg, but we're trying to keep this. It sounds really strange, and I don't know if you can see how uneven this is, but we will get a flat base if we just keep going round. That's what we're working towards. Just around like this. So over the weekend I made an octopus, and that was quite a challenge, and I nearly gave up. And I'm on quite a few Facebook groups, and I did ask for some like help. Do I give up on him? Do I keep going? And everyone was keep going, even if you put it away and come back to it. So bear that in mind. If you're doing a project and it's not going how you'd like it to be, then stop and come back to it. So I feel like we're getting a bit of a shape. Now we're going to go around here because this can alter it as well. And so like an egg, we're going round. So his tummy, the bottom of his tummy can be, you know, this bit can be kind of the same shape, and we can add more wool, so don't panic if you feel like he's getting a bit skinny in an area. And this will felt down as well. So I'm not focusing in the same area very much at the moment. And I might come back to just here to just get the shape back again. Just go round. There's a reason why we're making a hare. The first one I did, he is a bit more traditional hair colour, so I've not given him any eyes. He's looking up. You could add so much more detail, and I've done a hair before and they're really lovely, and I would love to do another more realistic hair, but I just wanted a quick, fun, I think because the octopus was quite intense, I wanted something quick and easy and simple that still felt a bit springy and just a bit like mythical, magical, fun thing to make. So that's what we've done. But this one is going to go on a reef, I'm hoping. So I'm not going to do them quite such traditional colours. I thought I had a hair wool colour from World of Wool. I couldn't find it, so I went for, I think that the first one I did was in rabbit. This one's going to be in a different colour called Snowstorm. Now you could work straight, if you've got a cool wool and your colour, you've got the colour, or these ones are mixed really nice, you could just do the whole thing in that if you wanted to, but because I'm really low on the colour, I'm going to do, I'm doing this in this cool wool, because it works out much cheaper as well to use a small bit of this than to use the main colour I want, and I'm going to have to order some more of that colour in the near future because it's absolutely lovely. I will show you it in just a second. So I made a reef base in January, and it was going to be a wintry reef, sort of like after Christmas, frosty cold mornings was what I was thinking. So I did it in this beautiful grey pattern, and I will show you it in just a second. And this hair is going to be grey to go on it, and it's the theme in my head has changed obviously now because we're in spring. I just think it's going to be a sort of a nighttime reef. So I've given this base quite a bit of effort, and you can see it's not actually that straight at the moment. We'll get there, but we're going to concentrate on this bit now because it feels really loose on here and we need this much tighter. So let's do that. It's really dark today. Not very nice at all out there, and it was cold and rainy this morning and I didn't wear a sensible coat and got really cold. So I'm going in at an angle. You could go straight. I really like going at an angle. I think it helps direct the wall where we're going. We want the top of this to be thinner. And we want this to come up naturally, but bear in mind we are going to be adding a colour, so that thickness can change if you've got a particular area that's looking a bit thin. You know, maybe we've got a bit of a dip here or something, we could bulk that out with the wool that we put on top. So it does, so you don't have to get like super focused on getting it super smooth. But as you add, if you add in details, if you don't have enough stiffness, the detail will just sink in and it just won't show and look as good. And I'm going back to this again because I feel like this has made it a little bit more uneven. And you can check to get him standing. See what you need to do. It's not straight. You have to be straight. You can add legs if you want to. You can add long legs. You could put a tail and you could put in loads of detail if you want. I didn't want to do that with him. I just wanted it to just be a bit of a simple, easy. Okay. Yep. So he's standing up now. Yeah, just that. I'll check again because as we add the detail, we're gonna distort it slightly. So, and it feels, this is feeling quite stiff as well. So I'm not pushing too hard with my needle here. So now, as we get to the top, we're going to start to bend. So decide what's going to be your back, what's going to be your front, and you can manipulate wool bit with your hand. So to get this to form the shape we want, we're going to go where we think the neck would be and just start adding a bit of pressure and felting that down. That will help it go in that direction. And then the same on this side. We're going to start imagining that we're putting in a bit of a, because he's looking up but he's still got a bit of shape. And actually I think I've probably made this nose not very big, so let's just felt it down a bit. And like you're doing with your egg, you're just going around with your needle. We could add some wool. It would be harder to add it now, but we could add some wool. And we're just going round. And if I wasn't wearing my finger guards, I would most certainly hit myself with the needle, stab myself. And I don't have to worry because I'm wearing these. So you can see I want a bit of a facial detail, so we just work it around here. You might go, oh, I've forgotten which bit is it, so go back and put that sort of a neckline in and a bit of depth in here. So you can't really see, you see a tiny bit of a neckline there, but it's not massive. And remember, like I said, if this is too thin for you, we are going to add a coat on top of colour, so that will make a difference. I want to look like a hare, not sort of like a pointy rat head. Coming down. Okay, I think we're probably almost ready to add the colour. Just come around here, take that out, but it's going to be covered, so I'm not too worried. I feel like we've got a bit of a shape going on. We are going to add some colour. Let's do that. So I'm using Drizzle from World of War. So we love this colour. It's just like a grey and white mix with some flecks in it. No, not going to take a huge amount. I'm just going to pop this on lightly. If you spread it too much, you'll see the colour through. Now, depending on what colour you use, that may or may not bother you. Obviously, with this one, I didn't really want you to see the colour too much, but with this one, it might look quite nice. So we shall see. So we'll just start adding it here, just gently like that. We're wrapping it round. So because this is very textured, you don't have to worry so much about like seeing the needle marks, because there's a lot of different colour textures in this anyway. I'm just wrapping it round, felting it in really gently. We can come back and felt this in as much as we want or as little as we want in a minute. I'm just deciding how much I want this, because this is cream underneath and this is white, so actually I might want more of a colour on it. And so I am adding to the depth of this product by adding this, and this creature is going to be thicker with this added on, but we can felt that in quite a bit more because this is still, there's still a lot of give on this. We haven't felted it so hard. Some people felt their projects really hard. If you're making it perhaps for a gift, or you're trying to sell it or something, then maybe you would want to make sure it's not going to fall apart. You could felt it much harder. If it's just for you at home, how long do you want to spend felting it? So we've gone round. I'm going to go over it again because I feel like it should be a bit thicker. You could just put it on thicker to start with. It's just me trying to decide what I want. And don't worry about like these bits, and come back and add to this in a bit. It won't matter. It's not like a stripy effect or anything. We're just adding it. Okay, I'm gonna just pull this bit off here. Get this tucked in. You can do the bottom if you want. Then you're back to like making sure it's nice and square. I didn't on the other one. I'm not going to bother doing the bottom on this one. I'm hoping I can speed this up a bit for you. Okay, let's get another bit added here. And you have to remember that we've got a shape going on at the top, so we don't want to lose that shape too much. You can pull this down if there's a big gap, to rather than pulling it back up with like that. Pull that back up and put it down there. But you can manipulate this with a needle really well. You just got to remember that top shape because we want our hair to be looking up. You see why I love this colour so much. It's just so pretty. I made a rabbit in it. I didn't felt him hard enough. I followed a tutorial online. Sometimes I follow tutorials online. Always learn loads when you do. Someone else has always got really good tips, or just things you hadn't thought of, or ways to do things to make it quicker or more simpler. But quite often I think the things I make just come from my head, or an inspiration. I think I was looking at different things on Etsy, and I saw a necklace of a hare looking up at the moon, and it was all in like a bronze colour. I forget the person who was it, the Green Man, something like that. Anyway, and I thought, oh, that I could make a really simple hair. I mean, that had feet and stuff, but I thought, no, it doesn't have to have feet. You can just make it really simple. I think you can tell what it is. And I was thinking of projects I could make with you that aren't too complex. I will do an octopus with you someone, but I need an octopus break at the moment. But if anyone asks, I can just show you like the basics of how to do it without making it. I think we could do that. So we've got this bottom part on really well. And we're just going to go back and have a look. See, I feel like he's got a bit lost now, hasn't he? His shape's got a bit lost, so I'm just going to move that. So I think it's about here where he bends. Let's get this tucked in a bit better. Now if you want a fluffy effect, you don't have to felt this bit too hard at all. If you wanted his face and his chest to be quite fluffy, you could do that. But down the bottom, because we're going to be adding the flowers, we do need that a bit more felted, otherwise the flowers will just get lost. You could put a nose on, you could put eyes on, you could put little cheeks on, this could be a rabbit and not hare. I'm sorry, I did mean to have a quick look and see what the reference of the hare gazing up at the moon was, so I do apologise. Do tell me if you know, and I will have a look later and find out. So let's just come back down and get this. I need to add a little bit more over the top. I'm not sure if it's the colour underneath making it hard to see, but like with the white bits, I'm sort of doubting where I've covered it, whether I've covered it enough or not. I must get some more greys because I really like working with grey. I have another one that I got in a box. You could get Tubs of Joy from World of War, and it didn't say on it what it was. I like mystery boxes, and that's kind of a grey, but it's a bit more like a merino. And it's a mix, but it's not as easy to work with. It's just not as lovely as this, but it's darker. But I'm at that point where I've got quite a lot of felt and I need to feel like I need it for a project rather than I just want it in my stash. And I need to use some of the felts I've got as well. The wool, sorry, I've got, so that it's not just sitting there. So I come back in, we'll go back to bending if you need to, if you've lost him a bit. Bit of a weird shape going on here. Let's get the ears done next, because that's a good chunk. So I'm taking 2 similar size pieces. That might be a bit too much. Similar size pieces so that the ears will be similar, and I'm going to fold that over. And this is a multi-tool. I've got 4 needles in this. If you don't have it, you can use a normal needle. It will just take a lot longer. So I'm going to start by just pushing this down like this. You can pull that in a bit. Pulling it off because it will have stuck. I'm not doing that very much at all. I'm going to put my finger guards back on, and then I'm going to start pushing the wool in. So we're just going in to get that ear shaped at the top, bit like a triangle. Come down. We don't want these too thick. There's quite a lot of wool here, but it will produce a stronger ear, so that'll be okay. But we do want to leave some fuzz at the bottom to help us attach. Just coming in. We're just making that shape with this. And you can felt these really hard. I suppose you could have his ears going back. Maybe I should do his ears going back. I've done his ears going up in the other hair. Let's see, so same thing again, just pushing down. We want to leave that bit so we can add it. Pull it off, it's getting stuck. So kind of a round domey bit at the top. And make it quicker for yourself if you want to use your multi-tool. If I was going to buy anything, it would be one of these to save time. If you're looking to buy a new tool. There is a 2 needle one. I don't have that, so that should probably be on my list of things to make my life quicker and easier. And just remember when you're felting not to hold needle too tightly. It's really easy to do that. You don't want to hurt yourself by holding it really tightly. You don't need, I mean, you could put a lot of detail into this. You could put some pink inside. You could, you know, really make these ears look really good if you want. I just want them to work as an ear. And I want them to be a bit longer. So let's come down and push this in down here. Pull that off. Just turn it over, knock it down a bit. Let's start on the other ear so that we know we're in the right track. Same thing again, always good to practice ears. I haven't really looked at a hare. I've made a hare before, so I've got a bit of an idea of what a hare looks like. You would think that would be obvious what a hare looks like, but actually they're quite sort of scrawny characters with like quite strong facial structures, and whereas rabbits are a lot more fluffier. It does help. When I made my octopus, I didn't really look at, I just had this vision in my head. It was much like a cartoon character. I didn't really look at the form of octopuses now. If you, oh look at that, let's get that out. Wow. If you want to make an animal that is very true to the real version, then you need to find photos, you need to look at its body, you need to look at its shape. There's nothing wrong with making whatever's in your head. If you have a clear look in your head, then go with that. Doesn't have to be always correct to the animal. It can be you can still see that it's, if it's got 8 legs and they stick out, it's probably going to be an octopus, isn't it? Or a spider. There's not, that's relatively easy. So whether you decide for it to have more eyes or no eyes, or, that's what's in your head. That's the creative bit. And you think about, I always think about the alien, the character, the alien from the film Alien. Like, that was from somebody's head. We don't really know what aliens look like, do we? That character was just from someone's head, and that's the creative bit that we have to do. Okay, so you can see this is quite different. I need to make this one quite smaller. It's good to get them both to have a look. They don't have to be completely the same, but probably do want them at least similar size, similar length. We'll have a look at placement, and I'll see whether I want to put the ears on going up or going down. They might look really sweet going down. He's looking up. Yeah, they probably should be going down, shouldn't they, if he's looking up? And you absolutely can do this with just a needle. It's just going to take you a lot longer, that's all. So don't fret if you only have a needle. Okay, let's have a look, see how we're doing. Not there yet. I think this one's a bit thicker. Some of that will be from the amount of felting I've done. That might be the inconsistency in the amount of wool that I picked up. You can weigh your wool to get consistent measures. Some people will do that. It's probably going to make life easier for you to get 2 ears the same if you use the same size wool, balls of wool. But it's such a small amount on an ear, isn't it? Yeah, I reckon we're going to pretty much get away with this. It's just because it feels a bit loose. You wouldn't want to do this without gloves on. And I'm just defining this bit a little bit. We'll check that hasn't done too much difference. We can just felt it a bit more with this as well. I could add a bit more wool. I think I'm just going to go in a little bit more, because that will firm it up. Pushing that wool in will firm it up. Yes, that's good. Okay. Yep, I'm happy with that. So we could, let's have a quick look. How does he look with his ears going backwards? Tuck that over so we can see. Yeah, no, I don't know. I think I'm going to keep them up. I've got them up on that one. Yeah, I'm going to keep them up. So let's just tidy this up a bit. I want to get a bit more definition around the mouth, a little bit more pointier. Okay, we won't add the ears just yet. We'll do the smaller detail because the ears are going to be delicate. I'm just covering up some holes. The ears are going to be delicate, and if you're constantly moving them around to add your flowers or whatever it is you're adding, you're more likely to damage it and, you know, dislodge them or something. We don't want to do that. So I am going reasonably deep in here. Firming him up. Doing a little bit more. Okay. He still stands up, and if he doesn't, just work on the bottom. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. So then you get to choose your colours and your decoration. So on this one, I've gone for this nice mossy colour. There's 2 different greens on here, and a pretty decoration. I've also given him a white tummy. I don't think I want to give this one a white tummy because he's already quite white, but if you do, I just used a tiny bit on there. That's not going to be too difficult to do. So the colours I'm going to use for the bottom is the Bode, and I absolutely love this colour. It's from World of War. I've not seen, not really looked anywhere else for it, and it is just a real nice mix of like darker green slightly. I feel like it's moss. It's very mossy, but not bright moss. And we're just going to put a tiny bit around the bottom, like he's sat on the grass. You might want your finger guards on for this. And I'm pushing this in very gently, not hard. I'm trying to keep it fairly low. It's going to go all the way around, a very tiny bit. This is another colour I see myself using a lot. Just like the idea that he's got a little bit of grass around him. And there's no harm if some of this goes up a bit higher. Grass can be longer in different places. A little bit more. I want this one to be a bit darker than the other one I've made in terms of the decoration I'm going to put on it. Okay, let's just do a little bit down here. Making these colours, I think is a bit of a skill. They must be really good, the staff, to put these colours together. I've not tried any colour mixing. Not really. Not successfully, and not to make a big bunch that I would want to use for a project. I thought about it with the octopus, but I decided against it. So now I am going to I'm actually going to use some merino, and this is conifer. I don't usually use merino too much, and why I'm using it is because it pulls up like that, whereas this one, to get it to go up is not quite so easier. And this is his tummy, remembering this is his tummy, and we've almost got a bit of a line there, so let's go with that. So just poke down the bottom, and then merino will poke up here where it's going to be, and then we'll push it in. So you can see that this is not heavily felted, it's sinking quite well. And just quickly go round and just get that a bit stiffer on both sides as well. Just being careful not to knock the green in. Ideally, you should heavily felt all of this first, but I just want to show you a few of these for the video so that you can get on with it. I'm going to grab, I don't have my scissors. Oh no, I was going to have to use my scissors to cut this off, so we'll pull it. Scissors would be really helpful, but they're not here. Okay, we'll pull it back down. Feel equipped. I like this darkness. So you can see this has sunk quite a bit. This needs felting a bit more. Okay, and then we're going to do the same again with some more. I'll take a long piece. You can twist it a little bit if that helps you. Get your fingers wet if you want to. Ideally, I think these should be at different heights. Sort of get a nice look. Go quite high with this one, or a bit higher. I'm going to come back down with it. I'm just going to pull it back down. I could pull it off, but I'm not. I'm going to have this one slightly darker and slightly thicker. And if it's too thick, you could pull it off, but you can also just push it in better. Thicker down the bottom. And if we're going in like that, we're going to have to make this not so sticky outy. Okay. And then I've also got, this is forest, but this is a cordell. I don't know how different this one is actually. It does look quite similar. I think this looks like, this to me is like grass. It's not bright grass, but it's a nice colour. Now we'll twist this one. Yeah, it is different. It is different. I would like every green they do really, because green is so, if you do anything like naturey, there's just so much green around. I would really like lots and lots of greens. Taking it in, going back. You can always add some more. This one's really skinny, you could always add some more if you want to. Let's do one on the other side as well. Just poke it in. Maybe make this one not so tall actually. Let's make this one have a bit of stems coming off it. So not all straight. I'm going to pull that off. Come back down. This is what I love about manipulating the wool. I'm not very good at sewing. So if I wanted to make these, perhaps I can do a little bit of embroidery, but if I wanted to make these and have them with embroidery on, like, I just would, yeah, I'd probably get the shape wrong. I wouldn't enjoy it anywhere near the way I enjoy making wool make the shape I want. You just think the possibilities of what you can make are endless. Doesn't mean that it will be good what you make. I just think it's amazing that there are so many. Go in and get his neck back again. So many different things you can do. You could make sort of any shape really, and like huge things. My list of things I want to make is massive, probably too big really. I'm going to use this is some of the colour I used on the grass. I'm going to use some of this too. And we'll go quite tall with this one, so it will work. It's just different, that's all. And you've got a mix of colours in there. You can't really determine which bit of colour you're going to get. I'm just doing this up a bit, add a bit more. We'll make sure you can stand as well in a minute. And a little bit more over here. Let's have a couple of smaller ones. I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap because I might do, on this one I've made this little flower here, so I want a few gaps for those because I think they're quite sweet. The stem doesn't start at the bottom, does it? Let's make that start at the bottom. And then let's try leaving a gap there, and let's try making one of those flowers. I think I've picked out lots of reds. This is Ruby Slippers. I really like the texture in this. This is going to work really well. So we're going to make little balls just in your fingers. Might do a few of these and just get that in. Poking in the middle sort of helps it almost to make that ball shape, I find. You don't need it to be exactly. Just firm up the surrounding area. So that actually, like the way that's quite bumpy looking would be fine with some stems coming down, but let's keep going. It's such a lovely texture. And let's make it a bit more like a clover. We'll just do like 3 or maybe 4. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, I think that's fine. You get that sort of feeling. You could put something in the middle if you want to. I'm not going to. You could do. Let's go back to this green, which is forest. I think it's just good using different shades. It just adds. Ooh, I want to do that. Not like professionalism, but just adds dimension, doesn't it? And obviously that means you've got to buy more colours, but I don't think it's ever bad to buy a green. Let's do another one in a shade. This is cherry. So, yeah, that's different. That's good. Pull it apart. Try and make these ones a little bit smaller so that I can, so it looks a bit different. Like I said, I wanted this one to be a bit darker. This is sort of a different version. I still haven't shown you the base, have I, yet, that's going to go on. I don't know what else I'm going to put on there yet. I suppose I should do a moon. I've not made a moon yet. That's kind of, I'm not very good at planning. I don't always like plan my projects hugely well. In fact, I was just going to make this one because I had like quite a good idea in my head. I'm actually really glad I didn't just make it, make this one for you to see, because I did do a little bit of thought to that one. But often the projects just come out completely out of my head. Yeah, I like that. It's quite different actually, isn't it? It's quite a different shade. And let's go again with the forest colour. I don't think I actually put a stem on the other one. I don't think it matters. And we're going to go for some purples. Got a nice purple here. This is lavender. I was hoping to do a few different purples, but I can't quite seem to find the colours, purples I want. And I thought I've got a few different purples, so I must have used them for something. So again, little ball. Yeah, I must have used them for something and not put them back with the main colours, which is odd. Not odd for me, but an odd thing to do. Let's make this small. So if you've just done that and it's lost its shape, just go back in. So basically this is what I'm going to do, add more of these bits in different colours around here so that this video is not hugely long and hugely boring. It might be. We could put, should we do a tiny little bit of brown? This is just a brown from, I think this is an animal colour, but it doesn't matter too much. Let's just put a tiny little bit of brown in here. See how that looks? A little bit brown coming up. Could be like a little bit of tree, couldn't it? Quite sweet. You could definitely do a bit of a like tree or something coming up. That would be fine. Be quite nice actually. Let's just chuck some colours on here. I don't want you waiting and looking, and I suppose you could do like some silver as well if you wanted. You could add some silver colours. Anything really. It's your design. Put what you want on it, I suppose. I was just thinking of like the dark colour. What's have I chosen here? Auburn. Let's do a little bit of auburn. Yeah, it's quite different a bit. The same thing again, just rolling it into little balls. The smaller the better really, I guess. But this one, let's do one right at the top. Actually no, I changed my mind. Let's make it look more like a flower. Just, you can keep some water by you if you want to use a bit of water to help. So we just can put one there. I'm not going for it to look, you could spend a lot of time making it, the round balls look quite like more like a daisy type flower. I'm not going to do that though. I'm just going to rely on this wall to just look. Yeah, I like that. That's really good actually, I like that. And he probably is going to need a bit of reshaping because he's quite a lot of poking. Let's do the same on there as well. I like that. What colour did I say that was? Auburn. I love these like autumn colours. Let's do it up. Let's put one there. It's a different base colour, but that's all right. I'm not going to worry about that. Small bits. Not even going to curl that one. I'm just going to add it. Okay, we'll let it get a different effect. Add another one. I bet that's going to take that away. Let's try it. Tiny, tiny pieces of wool. And let's just do a little bit more purple here. Smudging that in. I want another colour just to add to that one. A second. Sorry, I was trying to keep this video not too long, but you can obviously, you don't have to watch the whole video. And please do subscribe, because I know I did videos a long time ago, but I'm quite new to this, so subscribers would help. And do comment if you know, if you have any tips or advice, or if you think I could do this better or differently. I do feel very much like I'm learning. Okay, yeah, so not as much detail, but quite different. Let's pop the ears on quick. Bored you to death. And maybe a bit too much wool, so we'll take a little bit of this off. And I'm going to just define the bottom as well a little bit more. And I should have my gloves on for this. I mean my finger guards on for this. Okay. Let's put them on because otherwise I will hurt myself. Oh, nice, like quick, easy make. Not too taxing. Love it sometimes when you can just get a quick make done. Sorry about that. Doesn't always have to be an epic make. In fact, after the octopus, I just needed something quick and something that, yeah, feels nice. And we're just felting this fluffy bit in, so that's why it's really important to leave the fluffy bit. And if you'd made this really hard, felting this bit in would be a lot more difficult. But because it's still reasonably soft around here, I can get this in without you noticing too much, I think. Let's get the other side on. We can deal with that middle bit. So just making sure that roughly it's kind of even. I'm not too fussy. And again, knocking this down. So we don't want that to cover that, so let's take this off. We don't need all this. I put way too much on. And then you can obviously you can manipulate this wall to land where you want it to land. I'm just going really quick to try and get this done. You just spend as long as you want tidying this up, neatening it, making it look how you want it. I think there's just a colour that's fallen unfortunate there, so you could put some more wool over that to cover that up if you're conscious of that. But those ears are pretty well attached. I'm pretty sure I could pull them off if I needed to, but they're pretty well attached. And I am going to stop there. I'm quite pleased with him, and I'll just quickly show you, because it's fallen off, what he's going on. So this is the reef I made, and it's crocheted with this lovely wool, and he's going to go on here looking up to the sky. He just still, yeah, he still stands up. Yeah, it's going to go up looking. Maybe his ears could have been a bit smaller. Maybe I might make his ears just, if you do want to adjust the ears and you've already attached them, lay them down and you're just doing the same as you did before, but carefully just we can make his ears quite a bit smaller by just going in and defining them a bit more all the way down. You'll make them slimmer too. You'll have to adjust them both, but it's, yeah, wool's lovely like that. And I could pull these off if I really wanted to and make a smaller pair. Probably should have checked. But if yours is just going to be standing up as an ornament, I don't think it matters too much. Thank you ever so much for watching. We'll carry on doing this. I'll show you the reef when it's finished. I'm probably going to add something else, but I just don't know what yet. Don't think I'll change my mind, but yeah, I don't know what. And hopefully I'll try and get you another video out this week. I'd like to make some little fluffy sheep, but I can't promise it'll be that. We'll see how the mood goes. Right, thank you very much. Bye.